What's the world coming to, my friends? But what we're seeing around us, the turmoil, the spirit of contention, the division that's going on, it's all part of, I'm going to try something a little bit different here today, and I'm just going to open my mouth and talk about whatever comes out. Let's see what that brings. What's the world coming to, my friends? Have you found yourself feeling that or thinking that a lot or hearing it from others? Well, I'm going to tell you what I think the world's coming to and what's actually going on. This is a big question that we may be hearing or feeling ourselves because a lot of the turmoil that's going on around us in the world and in America with the elections coming up. And there's a spirit of contention and division, a lot of what I'm seeing. Okay. And so this creates a lot of fear in people. All right. Well, I'm here to tell you right here and now, my friends, there's nothing to fear. There's absolutely nothing to fear. Don't get caught up in the game, my friends. It's not real. You've probably heard that before. The experience is real, and we're here experiencing it so that we can learn, because you can't learn without experience. But if you look at it like game theory, if you're familiar with that, we're living in a simulation or a game. It's like we've got the VR headsets on, and we're identifying with it and thinking it's real, okay? And it is in a sense. I'm not trying to discount some of the things that go on, especially the bad stuff, the so-called bad stuff. Now, if you're not familiar with that, I have some other videos on that, on how we live in a simulation and how the Gnostics taught this in ancient times, some of the ancient wisdom. So back to the big question. What is the world coming to? Well, here's the logical answer to that is it's coming to whatever we make it. But what we're seeing around us, the turmoil, the spirit of contention, the division that's going on, it's all part of a bridge of incidents leading us to a bright new future. Can you believe that? We're seeing a lot of aspects of society crumble, and a lot of people are complaining about that and saying we need to get back to the old ways. And we do in some respects, but in some things we need to let it crumble. And what we really should be doing is working on a new model of certain things that aren't working for us, that aren't serving us any longer. Of course, what those are is subjective to the individual. And there's a lot of groups and people in the media trying to influence people in certain directions. So remember, folks, too, that everything you see, especially in the legacy media, is designed to try and influence you in a certain direction. So take it all with a grain of salt, my friends. But this is more than what's just happening in physical, material reality. That is just a subset of a greater reality or a greater consciousness, my friends. Okay? And so this is a spiritual reordering or a spiritual realignment, so to speak. Okay? Humanity is at a crossroads. And that's why we see certain institutions of society that we've known for centuries in some cases or longer are starting to crumble because they don't serve us anymore. We need to move ahead. We need to grow up. We need to mature, okay? And that's what's happening here. And a lot of these things that seem to be disrupting society are wake-up calls for us to change and to change for the better. And that is causing a great divide amongst people. You have the people that don't want to change, think that we need to actually go back, reverse things, and you have the people who are trying to move forward. And you have people in the middle that are just kind of, oblivious to it all and just going along with whatever happens. So, and that frustrates a lot of people. But you got to remember, everybody is on their own journey and they're at their own spot on the path, so to speak, of their journey. And no two journeys are alike, but we're collectively heading in the same direction. Okay? So you got to let people be who they are. Unless they're trying to harm you or harm somebody, leave them be. Don't argue with them. Don't try to force your will on them. Okay? I had a recent situation in my family Or I let myself again get caught up in an argument over this and that. I'm not going to go into the details of that, but although I did nix it pretty quickly because I realized what was going on, and it's like, okay, people have their perceptions. Let them. It's no skin off your nose, or water off a duck's back, as the old sayings go. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the game. We're playing the game, so get in the game. Sometimes we get tired of the game and we want to quit, but that's an invitation to explore the greater reality or the greater consciousness. And one of the ways to do that is through meditation. Try to calm the monkey mind down, or at least ignore the monkey mind for a while and let the real you come through, okay? You're not the body, you're not the thoughts, you're not the stories that you keep telling yourself. There's a greater part of you, or a divine part of you, that's playing the game, that has the VR headset on, so to speak. With all the volatility going on right now, especially with the elections in the US and other places, and the wars in Ukraine, and things going on everywhere, 2025 may not look anything like what 2024 looks like right now. And so if things escalate, but it's really up to us, folks. We are driving the bus, and that's what people don't understand. Our thoughts, our beliefs, and getting caught up in the game and identifying with all the stuff that's going on, with the storm around you, instead of being at peace, is driving that bus off the cliff, so to speak, if you will. But it doesn't have to be. Even if that does happen, it's still not going to be the end. The bus has wings. You got to remember that. And that's in the scripture. For those of you that are into the scriptures, there's dozens of passages in the scripture that say not to fear, that there's nothing, absolutely nothing to fear. Yet, ironically, a lot of modern Christians preach almost nothing but fear. Oh, you better do this, you better do that, or you're going to burn in hell. You know, of course, that's the extreme, but there's still a lot of fear about that. And we're here to overcome our fears. That's one of the cheat codes to the game. When you can overcome your fear and come from a place of love, that's when that could even be called enlightenment, or at least a degree of it. All right, are you ready for the big reveal? Here it is, my friends. It's all going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. We don't die. We are eternal beings, my friends. Okay? We're here expanding our souls through experience. We're in a limited capacity, and it's only a part of us. There's a divine part of us that's always with God, or with Source, if you will. And as I've said before, we're here experiencing the law of opposites. We're experiencing what we're not, so that we can appreciate and fully understand who and what we are, which is eternal beings, without beginning, without end. All right? So to specifically answer the question, what's the world coming to? It's coming to a bright and bold future, my friends. We're heading into a time of technology that's just going to blow our minds. Probably in 10 years, nothing is going to look like what it does now, at least in the technological realm. We're going to solve a lot of the problems of Earth. We're going to get through these conflicts and this divide, so to speak, okay? And we're going to move into truly a space-bearing species like Elon Musk wants us to do. He's obviously one of the pioneers in that. And things are exponentially accelerating in that direction. And so that's why I say, you know, it's taken us about 100 years to get here, or more. We were still largely in horse and buggy, and then 50 years later we had put a man on the moon. Now we have the same amount of computing power that put the first man on the moon. You have it in your phone. Or actually more than that in your phone now. So things are accelerating, and it's going to continue to do that too. With the advent of AI, that's another big fear that people have. There's nothing to fear there, folks. So any tool can be used for good or bad, but AI can really be helpful for us, and which is why we have to mature, especially spiritually and mentally, so that we can wield those tools with maturity and for the benefit of humanity. Okay? Everything doesn't have to turn out like a sci-fi movie where there's always some evil or terrible genius that's trying to destroy the world or something to that effect. Those things tend to feed our fears. Okay? We need to start focusing on love and coming from a place of love and understanding and allowing people to be who they are, and realizing that all of these disruptions are actually leading us to where we want to be, to a brighter future. They're there to wake us up, to shake us up, and get us to change and do the right thing. All right? So we need to mature and do that, my friends. And I think that's a really important message for all of humanity. Okay? When you fight against things, you get more of it. Like I said, the universe is a mirror reflecting back to you who you are, as Neville Goddard would say. What you resist persists. So we're bringing it on ourselves by hyper focusing on all the things that are wrong and all the things that are bad. We need to focus on the solutions and to build a new model and focus on that new model and see the future, see that bright future. Look for that bright future. Start in your imagination, my friends, because that's where everything starts. Imagination is not just some baby kids thing. Imagination is the creator. It's the creator of the world. Okay? All right, my friends. That's it for now. Peace out.